Well, hello to all of you. Today we're going to be talking about pet peeves and some of the things that just annoy us, some of the things that, kind of give us a little bit of a bother here and there. Or maybe it's something that happens every day and it's something that bothers you every day. um, but we're just going to go over some of our pet peeves and talk about those and kind of wrap that up. So I'm going to ask that Rosie go first. Rosie, what are your three worst pet peeves?
At home?
Well, like three pet peeves, maybe one from home, one from work.
Okay. So for me, one of my pet peeves would be a dirty and disorganized bathroom. I'm sorry. I hate dirty bathrooms. It drives me insane. A pet peeve at work. Well, I think when someone uses my classroom, if you move something, put it back. That really bothers me when, they just take my planner, put it to the side and don't put it back. Driving to work and there's a slow driver in front of me, I really have to pray for patience because that is something that really annoys me. And I have to remind myself that one day that can be me, as I get. And another one is running late. I don't like to be late, though I find myself sometimes, not all the time, but getting to places like right on time. And so I don't like getting to places late. And when we get, like, for instance, to church, finding my place where I normally sit, and if that place or that section is taken, it's a little funny.
Okay, so let me ask you about the bathroom thing. So with the bathroom thing, is that like your bathroom, or if you go to other people's places, like other people's houses?
Anybody's bathroom. Anybody.
Do you go to the bathroom at restaurants?
I do, but I don't want to sound disgusting, but I just don't sit. I squat.
You got the muscles in those legs. Come on.
Yeah, it just drives me insane. But anyway.
All right, Daisy.
Well, the three places, let's see, in terms of church, I'll start with church. And it really bothers me when whoever's speaking refers to everyone listening as guys. I tend to shut down. I've got this awareness of the propensity of sexual identity and gender identity. I'm so aware of it. I think because of counseling that, when someone doesn't filter their words, words are very powerful. And so when someone calls me a guy, the first thing that I want is to resist. It's like, I'm a woman. I was created a woman. I'm a woman. So that's one of my pet peeves. And, and that one just explodes when every third word is guys, so that gets even harder for me. In terms of home, I feel for my husband because, all of my pet peeves apparently are connected to my husband. And so he asked me which one I was going to talk about. And I said, I've got a whole list of them, but I think the number one home one is actually my husband opens the bread, right? And you know how the twist ties, right? We have twist ties, and he opens the bread and he wants to make sure that the air is out of the bag. So he squeezes it together, turns it, spins it, but then he puts the twist tie and he twists and twists and twists and twists. I'm like, how many times are you going to twist the twist tie? to the point where there's nothing left, you know, and it's hard to reopen. So it just, that drives me nuts. That's one that I can't get, you know, over. Anyway, can you see the frustration just build
Wow.
up, just even talking about it?
That escalated quickly.
Like, Reek, can you just close it maybe 3 times and that's it? The air is out of it. It's okay. You know,
Maybe
so
we need to like look into his, you know, like what's going on there that he has to
he
feel
needs
it.
to be analyzed.
Right.
Yeah. So the third one, the work one, I honestly am not, you know, I don't work in an institutionalized place anymore. So that one was hard. But I actually thought, let me just add then, because I don't have a work one necessarily. Let me just add this one last thing that I noticed of myself. And that is since COVID, grocery shopping and getting those plastic produce bags that don't open, like opening those darn bags up. It's like I have to rub them, I have to do this. Then my fingers are dry, but I can't, you know, but I have a mask on, so I can't breathe on it. So I have to walk all the way to the other side to go where the lettuces are, because that's watery, you know, that's wet. So I wet my fingers, and then I have to take every produce bag back over there.
Oh
to
yes,
open it up.
yes.
Anyway,
Hold on a second. Hold on. How do you wet your fingers?
well, I don't. I touch the water
lettuce?
on the shelves.
Oh, I thought you
There's
touched the
water
lettuce.
different. No.
I was
Or
gonna say,
this is what I have,
well,
actually, this is what I figured out. I'm gonna go buy my lettuce first. So I buy my lettuce, I keep it open in my cart, and then I touch the lettuce.
There you go.
Open the rest
Smart
of the bag.
girl.
But
Can I
sometimes
make a suggestion?
it just
Can I make a
doesn't,
suggestion
flow.
for that?
Yeah. I need
So
help.
that was really bothering me too. I started taking a wipey, and I have like a little thing of wipies in my car. And so I take a wipey with me and I leave it in the cart. So every single time I need to open something, I just rub my fingers on the wipey and then go like
And
that.
then there you go. That helps.
Can I just make a mask out of the wipey? Because then, you know, anyway.
Then you just do this.
Then I just wipe
Oh,
it
anyway.
down.
That's where I am.
Jeanette,
I've gotten some of
let's
that
hear your-
frustration out just talking about it. So I'm good.
Well, but I think that's one of every one of ours. So now that you've mentioned it, now I'm going to notice it even more. Thanks. No, just kidding. Jeanette, let me hear yours.
Alrighty. So I'm kind of like Daisy in the sense where I was thinking most of mine are tied to my husband too. But so this one, every time I think about it, I just like literally the hairs start crawling up on the back of my head. All right, so the sponge that you use when you're washing dishes, right? Like a dish sponge. Oh my gosh. I hate when either somebody wipes something on the counter with it and then puts it back on the back by the dishes or something, and like doesn't well, first of all, don't use the sponge to wipe the counter, you know, especially like it's food or something and you're wiping up, you know, like let's say a sauce or something, and wipe it and then put it back, and it's like, that's nasty, that's gross. Okay. That, or like leaving the sponge in the sink with other like dirt, like let's say there's dirty dishes or water or something, just like wash it, rinse it, dry it, put it like in a, like up in a way where it won't sit in the water of it, you know, like it'll like dry itself, you know what I mean? Oh my gosh, that drives me nuts. So that's my home one. I have a lot of them, but I'll stick to that one. And then my work one, and actually this kind of happens at home too. I do not like when, I don't know if you would call that just, I don't know what you would call it, but basically if something needs to be done and we're all working and one person isn't working or isn't pulling their weight or whatever, Like I will do this actually happened at work not too long ago. We were closing, like the store was already closed, but we were doing our closing tasks, you know. And I was like carrying something from the back to bring it to the front. And this guy was like leaning up against the counter, and he just was kind of like on his phone, whatever, like he had already finished. Well, actually, he had not finished what he was supposed to do. He was just on his phone texting, and I like passed by him and like purposely like grunted really loud, like, ugh, ugh, ugh. And then I put the tray like right next to him, like, ugh, you know, like, hello, you know, like, why aren't you doing something? So at work, that will be it. If you're there to work, you're supposed to be working, period. Okay, don't be slacking. Okay, number 3, this is also funny. At church, okay, so have any of you, well, I'm not gonna, anyway, let me tell you the story. I was at a worship conference, it was a youth conference, and I was like totally into the worship, and I was like, yes, Lord, I was like all into it, right? All of a sudden, this man came up to me, and I guess he was like an usher or something. And apparently, I had kind of like started to, I don't know, I was a little close to one of the seats, and he like taps me on my shoulder and says, "Hey, be careful, you're like too close to these seats." And I'm like, "You threw off my groove, man." I was like, "Come on," I was like in the middle of worship, and it's like, "You're tapping me on the shoulder to tell me I'm too close to the chair?" I'm like, oh my gosh. Anyway, so yeah, if I'm worshiping, please don't bother me. Like, please don't tap me on the shoulder to tell me
Yeah.
something. Please don't like, excuse me, can I pass? Wait till I'm done and then you can pass. I'm like worshiping. I know that sounds horrible, but basically.
Okay, let's not mess up Jeanette's groove. Okay.
You threw off my groove.
You threw off my groove. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Mine aren't that funny. I guess like who we live with, but my boys. Okay, so I was just gonna use this one because it is my pet peeve within any home. I don't like it when a door doesn't open all the way. Like when someone puts something behind the door and it just doesn't open all the way, you know, like, I don't know, like I can't handle it when like Roman puts his shoes behind the door in the bathroom and then it doesn't open all the way. And then I'm like, what is that? You know, well, first of all, the shoes shouldn't be there, but the door isn't opening all the way. So yeah, that's the one thing. And that's even like when I'm at work or wherever I am, like, I just want the door to open all the way. And then I wish somebody would wipe up their messes with their sponge, because I don't have anybody wiping up my messes with the sponge. So that would be, yeah, maybe that would be a one of my pet peeves, if somebody would wipe up messes, because the boys don't.
That would be a step forward. Yeah.
I wouldn't mind that pet peeve. No. Let's see, a pet peeve at work. You know, I work with 2 other guys and they, you know, they keep to themselves, and I really don't have a whole lot of pet peeves at work. But driving to work, like Rosie said, that is, yeah, you know, like I get into the left lane and I'm just getting there because it's just a straight shot. And if somebody gets in front of me and they're slow, oh Lord, like, yeah, I need patience when I drive. So driving, there's a lot of pet peeves that I have when I'm driving to work or from work or wherever. And even the boys are like, Mom, you have road rage. No, I don't. Don't get out of my face. Oh, why are you so going so slow? And they're like, see, they start.
Dude, it's called the turn signal.
Yeah. Why don't people use their turn signal? Yeah, that's exactly me. And at church, I think if there's an event at church or something's going on at church, and you know, people don't stay to help, you know, like, I don't know, I feel like it's just like, hey, I'm okay, and then they leave. And you know,
Mm.
I'm not, you know, I'm not saying that it's required or anything, but you know, there are some people and that kind of bugs me.
Yeah.
So, so yeah, those are
Yeah.
quickly my pet peeves. But
It-
yeah, I mean, I was thinking about it and I didn't think that, you know, now that I listened to Daisy's and I was like, you know what, that doesn't bother me that people like people say, you know, blanket the guy thing, you know. I guess I just don't notice it, you know.
Mm.
I would
But-
say that that would be the one that surprised me the most. Actually, it didn't surprise me because I knew it, but I don't understand it. Like, because I think because I say guys a lot, I say guys all the time. So that's the one that I'm like, oh boy, she's probably shut me down several times then, because I'm like, I say guys like all the time. Hey guys, what's up? Hey guys, how about if we do this? You know, or whatever. It's like constantly I say just guys. It's not like I'm
Yeah.
trying to say you're all men. It's just, I don't know.
I think not the guys term, but Regina, you said how all the doors need to be open, right? Like you feel like if there's something hindering or whatever that gets on your nerves. Or for me, at night, I need to have all my closet doors shut. Isn't that crazy? So every night I'll shut all the closet doors, you know, because I don't like to have closet doors open. That's when
like Monsters Inc. You have to make sure that
Yeah. Yeah.
So were there any other pet peeves of mine that surprised anybody?
I think the sponge thing, you know, like when you were saying it, I'm like, oh, I know for me, like when I'm using the sponge or the rag, I'm constantly washing it, right? Even if I use it,
Yeah.
wash.
And
Scrub soap.
wringing it out. Yeah.
Yes. And so, but
Yeah,
when you
if
were,
that were to happen, that'd be okay. But
But
the
the-
fact that they wipe and then leave it there, and then all of a sudden I'm going to use it, and there's like spaghetti sauce on it, or ketchup, or
Yeah.
something. I'm like,
that's,
oh.
yeah,
Yeah.
completely understand your frustration.
Yeah.
So, is there anything that you've learned about yourself in like really examining or like thinking, because we don't think about these on a daily basis. Like, who really thinks about their pet peeves, you know? But is there something you've learned about yourself?
That I need to give it all to God. That's what I
I think I want to hold on to the driving one. I think I
That can
like
be
to have
dangerous.
road rage.
Yeah. No, I think with Rosie, I totally get I think I've just grown more aware of me, and there are just things that I don't have time for anymore. So for example, I was just sharing this with a wife, where it seems like so many things bother her. And I gave an example of a decision that I had to come to. You know, we have a kitchen island and we have a couple of stools at the kitchen island. And when we first had it built, was about a year ago, the kitchen island became the place where coffee is drank, whatever.
Sit down.
And so my husband sits down on this stool every morning, right? It's our first conversation. I'm getting everything set for the day and whatever. And he's drinking coffee. And then I go to my living room because it's where the sunshine comes in through the window. And I just want to sit and talk for a little bit. Every time he gets up, he leaves the stool out. Oh my goodness, leaves it out. Well, what happens when you leave it all the way out, it becomes an obstacle when you want to go straight through and go out the back door. So anyway, it just got really frustrating for me. Like every morning, man, do I have to do this every single morning? And then, you know, whatever other times of the day, because he never would put the stool back where it goes, ever. So at one point, I remember going through this day in, day out, multiple times a day. And I said, maybe he just doesn't notice, so I need to tell him. So I did, but it still kept happening. Like he never listened to me or considered it or whatever. So anyway, I started to take it personally, honestly, just like now it's not just him being ignorant of this thing, but now he's defying my feelings about this thing, right? So I actually handed it right over to God. I said, Lord, help me with this. I am going to become the put the stool back person. I'm just going to put it back. It's one of those things that I've decided in my life I am going to do for my husband. He does so much for me that I'm going to do this for him. My peace, just total peace all over me. And I told him, Reek, you don't have to worry about the stool ever again. I'm going to do that for you. I will never mention it again. I will never nag you. And for the next week or so, we started to put the stool back in. Then stopped again, then stopped again. However, my point is this, sometimes it's just let it go. And it really just doesn't bother me. It's just part of what I do to keep my kitchen straightened up. And, you know, so I shared that and it just was so eye-opening, you know, some things you just let it go. It's for your own peace of mind anyway, you know. So
That is so true. Because one of the things that annoy me about my husband was his shoes. Like he likes shoes. So he would leave shoes everywhere. And I would always say, do we have a shoe sale going on? You know? And so I would be picking up after him, but I just came to a point where I just grab the shoes and move them to the side. And it does, like, instead of complaining about it, just, you know, help him with it. And it just relieves a lot of stress. You know, you worry about feeling annoyed and exerting yourself, you know, just, I would grab his shoes and put them on the stairs or put them on the side because they were like,
yeah.
I think something that I've learned about myself when I'm expressing my pet peeves is like, which really this applies to anything in life, I think. Whenever you need to talk to somebody about something that has bothered you or whatever, is to say, this is how I feel about this, or this is why I think this, or this is, without saying, you did this, you know, you are whatever, why do you have to be, you know? So I think that I say that I've kind of learned that about myself. I'm still learning. But like, I know that in the past I have, like, another thing that I didn't mention that kind of bothers me is like chewing loud, like really chewing loud. Like, it's okay, you know, a little chewing, but if it's like rolling, you know, that kind of like smacking. Okay, so I actually found out that there is actually a name for that, like for people who that bothers, and which now I can't think of the name, but I told my lovely husband why it bothers me. I said, you know, actually there's a name for that, so I think I might have that sickness or whatever.
Disorder.
It's not a sickness.
Disorder.
So then he was like, oh, really? That's a thing? And I was like, yeah.
I might have to go to counseling now because that's
maybe
an actual thing.
Now you know why that bothers me so much, you know.
Now, if you keep doing it, I'm going to have to, you know, pay to go to a therapist because it's a real thing.
Yeah.
Well, if it's a disorder, your insurance might actually cover it. So, yeah.
So, is there anyone else that learned anything about themselves in this? we learned from Daisy that if we give them up, they give us peace. Daisy and Rosie, right?
Yeah, just give it all to God,
Yeah.
because it could become very frustrating and overwhelming with
Yeah.
all the.
Yeah, and I mean, having so many annoyances only takes away your peace, you know? It's the reason why we
Right.
have pet peeves is because we can't control everything. We're not in control of all of these little things, you know? And if we can be in control of them, then we just take care of it, you know? Like if your bathroom is not perfect, well, then you clean it up or you yell at somebody to clean it up. Or if, you know, something's going on, you know, like with me and driving to work, like, okay, just move over and go around, or, you know, put on some music really loud and listen to the music instead, because it's not worth it to be frustrated by the time you get to your
Right.
destination.
Yeah.
Right.
You know,
So
one thing I was
it's
thinking,
really,
about also is that the thing is that, you know, we all named pet peeves, and a lot of us named things that were, you know, especially the home ones, you know, either our spouses or our children or something. And, you know, I was thinking about that Bible verse that says about looking at the speck in someone else's eye,
Exactly.
not the log or the, you know, the big old whatever 2x4 in our own eye. That, you know, the thing is, I'm positive that I do things that are an annoyance or a peeve of, you know, one of maybe my daughter is like, oh my gosh, every time mom does this, you know, or my
Yeah.
husband, you know. So like, I think that if we kept that in mind, you know, like saying, okay, you know, instead of looking at the speck in somebody else's eye, let me first kind of reflect inwardly a little bit, and, you know, that could help. And maybe I actually heard somebody saying something about stop petting your peeves.
Oh, that's good.
You know, like,
that's good.
That's, yeah.
Let
Yeah.
them go. The older you get, the less pet peeves you should have, you know,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
it should
Just
come to a point.
God. Give it to God so that you're able to have your peace.
Yes, give it to
stop
God.
petting your peeves.
I like that.
Look at yourself.
I
Look
like
in the
that.
mirror.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Do we have anything else that we want to say?
No, you know, I want to say, because you know, yet last night my daughter was here, and so we're talking about pet peeves, and so we asked my husband about mine, and so I realized last night this might be a new pet peeve for me, and that is that he continually says that I'm perfect. And I really, it's like, we're gonna have to talk about that, because I hate the fact that you think that I'm perfect, you know? So I might just have a new one that in a future session, I will need to talk about, because I need to, yeah.
Don't be
not
telling me
perfect.
I'm perfect. Don't be
So-
telling me I'm perfect.
Yeah, that doesn't work. That's just pressure. All I feel is pressure when that happens.
Right.
Oh. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Well, I think that we can, you know, wrap this one up, and that was great to see your faces.
Great
Can't
to
wait
Same
to see
here.
your
Don't
present.
pet your peeve.
Don't pet your peeve.
Don't touch your peeve. Look at the old
Release,
log in your own eye.
release,
Oh,
release, let them go. That's right.
Next time we're together, and if any of us do something that is like for instance, let's say I say guys like every other sentence, I'll just look at you, I'll be like, guys. Just kidding.
Yeah, we're about to spend some time together, so we're gonna keep those bathrooms nice and clean.
Clean,
Oh,
yes.
boy.
make sure we bring our wipes.
Yeah.
That's right. That's right. When we go
Big
grocery
old stack of
shopping,
wipes
that's
We'll
right.
take our wipes.
and a bottle of Pine Sol.
You are gonna be like, let's keep the bathroom clean. Make sure the doors are wide open. Don't say hi. And
All the closet doors.
that the rags are clean.
Yes. I'm gonna put my suitcase right behind the door.
And I'll just wipe up spaghetti sauce and leave it.
And I'll keep saying, guys.
Oh,
Oh, this is fun.
that's funny.
All right. Well, till we meet again.
Thank
Till we
you
meet
all. Be
Thank
blessed.
you.
Bye-bye.